this song. Thank you. So, thank you and you at the same time. I hate you so goddamn much right now. I can barely see anything, and you're making me jump, and I don't like jumping. This song is amazing, but I don't want to die anymore. This level's gonna keep making fun of me. And I hate you for that mockery upon my soul. You son of a bitch! Shut the fuck up! Pumpkin Jack, a game that came out of nowhere for a lot of fans of older games, just like Jack and Daxter, Medieval, Banjo-Kazooie, and there's a list of more. A game that was released on the 23rd of this month, and currently sitting at $23 as a release price until it goes to the max of $30. It goes back to the max of $30. This game pretty much brings back old formulas from games like Medieval that have been pretty much, for nostalgia purposes, I believe, are just tried and true methods. The game itself is visually pleasing, it's nice. Pretty much unlike Medieval though, weapon gathering is not through chalices on this game at least. They're actually through the boss fights at the end of every stage. Which is another nice feature in this game, I feel like, is a boss fight at the end of each stage instead of every few stages, like Medieval does. This game does not include a dash mechanic, just like Medieval. I think Jack and Daxter also had their own mechanic, but it was more of a roll, which this game actually introduced. It's not, for at least the purposes I've seen it used for me playing it, I've never actually got it to dodge attacks. It does help me move faster across the map, so it is pretty much a replacement to the dash mechanic that you would actually see in Medieval. Back though, pretty much by Medieval demand, the fall, pretty much fall damage is gone, but I don't mean fall damage, I mean fall deaths into water. Usually something I'm really good at is just falling and dying when I land in the water. Pretty much the only reason I died most of the time, along with the rail, pretty much, it's like minecart rail portions of the game. There happens between second level all the way to the final. I was very good at also falling to my death off the minecarts. The bosses themselves have a very nice gradual progression in difficulty per stage. First boss being the easiest, he doesn't really have a change in mechanics or difficulty after the first three phases. The other bosses, on the other hand, have not only progressive difficulty increases per stage, but also per phase after the first stage. So bosses 2 through 6 progressively get harder as the fight goes on. At this point in time, the dev is actually actively working on bug fixes for all versions. At this time, there has been a few patches for issues pertaining to certain screens. I did not experience any of this because I was playing on the Xbox One X version of the game, which ran at a smooth 4K 60 frames a second. The version that I know of right now that is having issues is a pink screen on the Nintendo Switch, which has been actively patched already. At this time, the dev has also put out that an update right before the game launched actually is that the ray tracing and DLSS for PC users via pretty much the entire PC platform if you have an RTX card with ray tracing capability, which will also be coming to the consoles as the new consoles come out for both PS5 and Xbox Series X. Other features built into this game, since this game is also focused a bit on speedrunning, is a stopwatch to help determine how fast you're going for that current run. I've not run into any glitches for speedrunning yet. You can be pretty quick at getting the first stage done, roughly 6 to 8 minutes, but beyond that, the other stages are much longer than the first stage. As you can see, the game does draw from pretty much older styles of games. You can definitely see the PS2 graphical quality inspiration in how this game looks. There's also costumes, actually. Right there, this is what I'm doing right now, is talking to the shop owner who sells the costumes. There is something the dev may be implementing. Actually, he talked about this the other night, is that one of the costumes might get a speed boost. So, good luck guessing which one it was, because he didn't tell any of us. Because it was supposed to be a joke, but now I think he's actually seriously doing it. I did have a script for all of this in the long run, but kind of actually talked about all the major points. The game, at this point, I'm definitely going to say it is a 9.5 to a 10 out of 10. Don't like to give games 10 out of 10s just as a personal preference, because no game is perfect. Everything can be worked on to make it polished or more balanced. This right here is a chase sequence, or a running sequence, rail running sequence that you always run into in this game. This one is you can control yourself. There's other ones that are pretty much you just control certain actions, but they're all good. I love them. This one is probably the easiest one. After this, depending on the stage, it's various others. Pretty well on point, I think. It changes up the monotony. Doesn't let you go too fast. Doesn't let you go too slow, and it does not allow you to get calm and settled into one way of playing. It definitely switches this up on you, just like the ever-changing and ever-growing enemies per stage. This game definitely deserves the praise it's going to be getting for the next few months. Hopefully the next few months. Hopefully the next few years. I don't see anything at this time from the dev in pertaining to DLC or anything like this for this game. If this is a one and done version, there's no part 2, there's no Pumpkin Jack 2. I'm very glad with what we've gotten in this one. It is something to behold. It is a work of art. Maybe it's just my nostalgia talking. Maybe it's just my thought process and how I love games. But this is definitely going to be a good one, no matter at what price point. The total completion time can be up to 4 to 5 hours for 100%ing the game. But that is it for me. This game's a 10 out of 10 in my book. Definitely just gonna enjoy this for a little bit. Thank you. This is Sergeant Dan signing off. This is my after action review of Pumpkin Jack. Y'all have a wonderful day.